On this episode, we're going to talk about paint. 11 and a half gallons of stuff. And this isn't even all of it. There's only one color in here. This color. I'll show you what it is. But I can't show you all of it. Well, I guess I can. It's not my business. But this is the color we're going with. It's a 2021 Ford color. It's antimatter blue. So it's this color blue. And then, because I know there's going to be some of you that say you can't put a Ford color on a Chevy truck. And what I'm going to say is this color I did first. So I took my color blue. This is the blue off of the 79 Fiat. And when you put the paint coat in, you get some stupid color that's almost green. So I brought them a sample. They mixed it up for me. This color is Fight Custom Blue. And 1 gallon of Fight Custom Blue was $1,700. So this color blue was $600. So I'm still gonna call this Fight Custom Blue because this they took it from me. I'm gonna stick to that story. I haven't painted a car since the 80s. I painted my motorcycle in the 20-teens. I painted my blue BMW red in the 2013. Then I painted my Honda red 2017, 18-ish, I don't know. But that was all easy because it was motorcycle stuff, really small, not a lot. The internet, YouTube, the platform I'm using to talk to you on right now is very confusing. I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of stuff out there about paint. My recommendation is find a paint supply place and go to them. This paint supply place in Houston has been in business forever, since I was a kid. It's been around that long. And the same guy that mixed this paint back in 2019 mixed this paint 5 years later. So that speaks well. I showed him pictures of the truck, I told him what I'm doing, and he just laid it all out. You want an epoxy sealer to go down first over your bare metal, your treated spots, everything on the truck. The epoxy will cover the painted stuff, the bare metal, the scuffed stuff, the EDP coated stuff. You put that down first. If, like on the bed, because it's brand new, and the running boards, because they're brand new, if that first application is visually what you're looking for, then you just hit it with the color. And then you hit it with the clear, and it's done. On some of this other stuff, like the cab and the front fenders and the hood, the doors especially where there's a weld seam, once you put that sealer down, epoxy sealer, then you got a choice to make. If it doesn't look good, then you're gonna hit it with primer, 2K primer, sand it, and then you shoot it with color and clear. So talk to the guy at the paint store. They know their product. So they want to sell you their product, but they also want you to do well with their product so that you come back and buy more of their product. So there's a baseline, right? Shop line. There's a shop line, there's a shop line middle, there's shop line plus, there's, PPG direct. Some of this stuff is expensive. This is the urethane clear coat, and it's pricey. But the clear coat is what fixes everything. Makes it look great. So spend the most money on your clear coat, and you can go with a middle of the line base coat, color coat, because it'll still make it pop. And we'll talk about this more when we're actually doing it. probably more than you want, but you're also going to get to watch all the happy little accidents. No mistakes, only happy accidents. I'll have to watch a couple Bob Ross programs, get my inner Bob Ross going when it's time to start painting. And as you all know, this is Texas. And I'm at the outer limit of my comfort zone for paint application outdoors. I got some thoughts on that, but if you look outside at the trees over there, everything looks a little hazy, smoky. It's not clear, right? It's kind of, that's the humidity. Those are water droplets just hanging around in the air. It's like 90% humidity today. It's like 90 degrees. It's freaking brutal, bro. So we're going to be painting in the mornings when it's cool. But therein lies another problem. We're going to have to do a lot of steps real fast to make our windows, because once the afternoon comes, it's 120 degrees in the tent and your finish is baked and it's no longer ready for another application without sanding. So we're gonna have to bounce kind of fast. I got an idea about that because I have a spare air conditioner. I could put that in the tent. It's really thin tent material, but hey, if it's running, it'll stay a little cool in there, I would think. It's a small, it's 10 by 17. That's 170 square foot. I mean, that AC will probably crank it pretty good. So that's another idea. I'm gonna have to figure out how to get an AC in there without messing anything up. And I got some ideas about that. I used that wooden stand the last time, but you can see I only have one. And you know, I'm thinking, what am I gonna do? And then I tried utilizing that. If you turn it over and set them on top, they fall. If you put them on the legs, it's too low. For me, that's too low. I want it 4 feet tall. So that got me thinking. You got some Harbor Freight parts over there left over. So if I take this pole and I cut it to my proper height, and then I take this and I put it on top, wait for it, and then I take this, screw it on top, that fender will sit right here, and then I can do my thing. And I know what you're saying, but I've already got that figured out. It's easier than you think. So, at this point in the video, I'm going to show you one, and then I'm going to make one. So, here you go. So first, I'm going to cut all of those to 4 feet with my handy dandy chop thingamajig Harbor Freight doodad. I don't know what I'm going to use these for, but something. They go into here in the storage area. So this is my base, but it's upside down. And then I got some washers and some screws. Why did I do that? I don't know. And I got a tool. And it is hot. No protrusions, so we're good. So there we go. See? That's my platform. And I got another idea. Because this is spinny. I don't think it's that big a deal. But it might be. So put a screw through this. This may or may not work. It's gonna work. Okay, so now it doesn't spin anymore. Does it? No. But this is crooked. I'd say we could probably bend it, but you know, it would probably break off. We could try it. I think we'll just use that to our advantage. I'll be right back. 5-gallon bucket. You can buy them all day long at your Home Depot's, Lowe's. If you don't have any dirt in your yard, go to your neighbor's yard, put the pole in the dirt. Boom! Portable paint stand. So it's tall enough. I can go like this, get the tops, the backs, the bottoms. Now I just got to make 3 more. On the front fenders, I got this. I don't know where all this comes from, you know, but it's just laying around like everybody else. 2x10, but it's really only 2x9 1/4. So, because that front fender is fatter, so that'll give me more spots on the front fender. That was easy. Let me make one for the front fender and we'll check it out and then I'll cut you off. Okay, that'll work. I think my theory's good. I think my mechanics are good. And we're just blowing it with, you know, 10 PSI coming out of the tip, so I think we'll be all right. I really do. Man, that's a lot of real estate. 5 gallons of oil is 35 pounds, basically, 7 pounds per gallon. But the dirt is heavier. So, it's more than 35 pounds. The good thing is, I can pull my pole out, and then I can put it back in, and it'll be okay. So for carrying purposes, we'll be all right. So let me make the other 2 and we'll call it a day, or you'll call it a day. And then what's next? We could be spraying. I got some more tips coming just in case. I got some new filters coming. I got to tune up my fan box. Air filter box is still fine. Fan box I don't like. I can make some mods to that. And then I got to figure out a way to bring that AC unit and get it involved, because we're too hot. But I think we can do it. I know we can do it. We will do it. I will be painting in an air-conditioned tent before this is over. Wait. I will be painting in an air-conditioned tent before we start. How's that? Yeah. Thanks for watching. Please hit the like button. Look, I'm going to tell y'all something. I'm talking to my constant viewers. Thanks so much. The likes help the algorithm, right? That's what we're working on here. I'm going to give you a for instance. I take my videos and I make shorts out of parts of the videos. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to be honest. Because I can make a short and it'll get 100 views, 200 views. I can make a short, it'll get 10,000 views. The difference is I post a video and I'll get 6 likes. I post a short and I'll get over 100. So help me out. Just hit the like button. You can hit the don't like button if you want. It all helps. Just any interactions. Right? Appreciate it. We're going to be painting soon. And you're going to watch. Watch me do it wrong so you don't have to. Y'all take care.